Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. It all really helps out the channel. But let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from Entrepreneur512 from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit and says, am I the arsehole for walking out of an event when my fiance introduced me as a bookkeeper? I, female 45, have a fiance, male 55, who is a retired military officer. I own a successful company I started 7 years ago and have a small staff of 25. I worked my way through college, paying as I went. Therefore, I graduated in my early 30s with a double major in accounting and business management. I am very proud of that. For a little background, I worked hard for my degrees and have zero debt. I know it took me longer than the typical student going full-time to college after high school. I worked full-time to pay as I took classes. I went to junior college first, then finished at a 4-year. I took 2 classes per semester for a long time, but I finally made it. I've been teased that junior college isn't the same as going 4 years at a major university. Well, I am proud to have done both and feel the education I received at junior college was excellent. I worked as an accountant for some large corporations as well as programming and IT. I started my company doing similar support to large and small companies alike. I have a wonderful staff. I manage the contracts, kickoff meetings, sales, and consulting staff. I also do some of the consulting and most of the sales and contracts. My sister is my office manager, and I am blessed in so many ways to have her. I was dating my now fiance before I started my company, and we recently got engaged. Everything seemed to be perfect, except he keeps introducing me as a bookkeeper. No disrespect intended to them or the profession. My issue is that I have worked hard to get where I am. I am an accountant, graduate with a double major, and successful business owner. He could pick almost any other title to introduce me as, but he chooses bookkeeper. I have asked him many times in private to stop calling me a bookkeeper, as it implies to my clients and business associates that he doesn't respect me or what I have accomplished. He said he doesn't see the big deal or difference and continues to do so. I recently pulled him aside and asked him to just introduce me as a consultant at the event we were going to, while they were talking to a prospective client for my company, and he says she has come a long way for a bookkeeper. I know my face had a full blush at that, excused myself and walked away. We had both driven there, so I got in my car and went home. We both own our own townhomes. I sent him a text to let him know that I was leaving and would talk to him later. He thinks I am overreacting. My family thinks he is a controlling ass that doesn't respect me or women. I'm not sure what to think now. He seemed so supportive when we are together, but not when we're around other people. He tends to treat me like a subordinate, nice kid, playing with the adults. He does talk down to me in front of my family, but I always assumed he was joking badly. So, am I the arsehole here for leaving and overreacting? Absolutely not the arsehole in this situation at all to me. You say it yourself that he tends to treat you like a subordinate, nice kid, playing with the adults, and the comments he's making are on purpose. They're not accidents. They're playing down your successes. And your last paragraph saying about your family thinks he is a controlling ass that doesn't respect me or women makes me think that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes as well, a lot more that they've seen in the past. Obviously, it might not be, and I might be reading too much into that, but it certainly sounded like it reading that paragraph. But Llama Dolly says, not the arsehole. This man is fucking military. He understands what titles are and why they matter, and he is doing this on purpose. ETA, my family thinks he is a controlling ass that doesn't respect me or women, and says if you love and respect the opinions of your family and other circumstances, and you trust them to have your best interests at heart, then you should always listen when they say things like this to you. In the end, you get to make your own choices, but when you have a loving family, the chances of them saying this without meaning it are really slim. The people who love us can see what we can't and want what is best for us. Scarlett says, and quote, she has come a long way for a bookkeeper, and says, that is what's called a backhanded compliment. It sounds nice enough if you don't think about it, but its whole purpose is to knock you down a peg and make sure you don't believe in yourself more than you believe in him. You are definitely not the arsehole. You've attempted healthy communication multiple times, and he continues to refer to you in a way that's belittling and disrespectful of all you've accomplished. He can no longer play the clueless card. You've made it very clear how this is affecting you. I think your family is right. OK says, not the arsehole. He's a retired military officer. Start referring to him well below his rank and incorrectly state which branch he was in. If he kicks up a fuss, just state it's not that big a deal and you don't know why he's upset. But really, what you've accomplished is impressive. Just like moving up in the ranks of the military is impressive. If you can't respect that and acknowledge your hard work and success, I really think you should reconsider marrying the man. A relationship should have some amount of respect on behalf of both parties, and he's not showing you any. Fatigue Era says in quotes, "My family thinks he's a controlling ass that doesn't respect me or women," then says, "Gee, I wonder why." And quotes again and says, "He seems so supportive when we are together, but not when we're around other people. He tends to treat me like a subordinate, nice kid, playing with the adults. He does talk down to me in front of my family, but I always assumed he was joking badly." And says, "He doesn't respect your success. What does he do since his retirement? Sounds to me like he can't handle that you're a CEO and owner of a successful business, especially in public. He's expressing his insecurities by publicly demeaning you. You've worked for this. You deserve someone who respects that, not the arsehole." And one more comment from Carrie Cat 62 who says, "Not the arsehole. Your fiance is repeatedly being a disrespectful arsehole. She's come a long way for a bookkeeper." Yikes. This comment isn't just him not understanding the difference between bookkeeping and what you do for a living. There's nothing wrong with being a bookkeeper, but that's not your job. And that comment is phrased to be as demeaning as possible. I'm surprised he used she versus this little lady. He tends to treat me like a subordinate nice kid playing with adults. He does talk down to me in front of my family, but I always assumed he was joking badly. And says, so that right there. You noticed it. A lot. This is what he does to you whenever you meet somebody new. You've told him repeatedly that you do not like this. You've told him the job title you prefer. Unless he has a short-term memory issue, he's deliberately putting you down, so that he can seem like number one. You've tried your best to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you need to stop that. He's not joking. He doesn't want his friends and associates thinking that his women is better than him. Yes, that's a clunky sexist way of thinking, but that's what he's doing. Since you've told him numerous times, each time he's disrespecting you. You aren't married yet. Really consider if that attitude is something you want to spend the rest of your life with. You two are engaged, which means this is as good as he'll ever be. Not likely he will get better with marriage. So then OP gives us a series of small updates. So they start off with update. I had a conversation with him after a few days. He feels I'm lucky to have him and need to listen to his advice more and not overreact. The attitude along with reading everyone's replies. Thanks. I've called it off with him. I need someone who is proud of me and caring. My family responded by buying champagne. Lol. Edit 2. Had another conversation with the ex-fiance. Now that I had time to get my emotions under control, he was willing to let it go. I laughed and told him I'm fine, and so are my emotions. I told him about the post and that he should read the replies. Let's just say he was not happy. I did say no names were used, just me, I, and he. And here is the total shocking part. He wanted to know what I was going to give him for his help with my company. After the shock wore off, I handed him $1 and walked away. Told the family and my brothers wanted to pay him a visit. I told them I handled it and gave him $1. We all laughed, went to the store and got more champagne. God, I love my family. An OP replied to someone and says, thanks, yes, I called it quits with him. I know it's not okay to treat me this way, so no counselor needed, thanks, lol. Life is good now, and lots of weight off my shoulders. Jeez, that first update where OP came in and said he feels I'm lucky to have him and need to listen to his advice more and not overreact. Holy moly, I couldn't really see this ending any other way after that, but what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit again, titled Am I the Arsehole for not wanting my girlfriend's mother to move in with us? And it's from Clemmy56. Does come with an update too. I, 23 male, and my girlfriend, 22 female, have been together for almost 6 years. We just moved into a house that I bought and own a month and a half ago. I'm a first-time homeowner, and this is my first time living on my own away from my parents. She's been living in an apartment for a few years prior to moving in here. We make enough to live comfortably. We bring home around 80k combined, and as a result I was able to buy a pretty big house for the two of us, nearly the size of my parents' home. I alone pay the mortgage and utilities since it is my house. Girlfriend has been generous enough to buy groceries, subscriptions, etc. She also paid for some of the furniture we have when we moved in. The issue here came up about a week ago. Girlfriend's mum, Anne, isn't well off. She lived in a trailer with her boyfriend and they broke up a few months ago, so she's been living with her mum and mum's husband. Anne's mum died a couple of weeks ago from cancer, and now her mum's husband is kicking her out. She has the responsibility of living with my girlfriend's sister and her boyfriend, who lives with her boyfriend's parents. But Anne's been insistent on moving in with us. I am firmly against this. It's my house. I very much enjoy living on my own, and honestly, I don't want anyone else here. It's not my fault that her mum hasn't done anything to improve her financial situation. I shouldn't be forced to endure her consequences of her actions. The fact that, to my knowledge, she isn't even looking at apartments, other trailers in that area, or a job just shows me that she intends to move in here and stay here. I can tell my girlfriend doesn't want that either, but wants to cave and asked me to allow it, though she's been avoiding the subject directly with me given the uncomfortable situation she's understandably in. I love her to death, but she's a massive pushover when it comes to her mum. She had me driving to Walmart to get her food and cigarettes for her mum when we started dating, because her mum was too lazy to. My girlfriend's sister has been saying I'm an arsehole because we have a bigger house and can easily take her in. I told her outright it's not my mum and not my problem, which caused her to throw a tantrum on the phone. She accused me of trying to make her mum homeless. I've been feeling guilty, but I want to hold my ground. I don't want to enable her mum to sit around here all day drinking. So, am I the arsehole? So, as always, people are asking OP questions and commenting on the post, and OP replies to some of them. So, someone takes issue with OP calling it his house and not ours, and OP responds saying, although I love her and fully intend to marry her soon, for the lack of better words here, I didn't want to be the idiot who put his girlfriend's name on the title, only for us to break up for some reason and have to deal with resolving that. If/when we get married and I let her start contributing to the mortgage, she'll be put on the title. I can understand your argument, but I do want to communicate here that I've been working since I was 14 to get to where I am now. I was able to put a ton down on the house to make my monthly payment pretty low compared to what I net per month. Her buying groceries and paying for Amazon Prime/Chewy for her dog is more of a gesture of goodwill rather than a necessity. I could still afford to live by myself were she not in the picture. I never communicate to her about the house that way, but I do darn right think it, because I need to be prepared should we ever split. In my opinion, it is my house until she's on the title/mortgage. After we get married, I'm completely for equality in relationships, but she didn't bust her ass working until 11 PM every night as a farmhand at 14 years old. Lol. OP responds to someone else saying, when I said that to her sister, I was fed up after going back and forth for 45 minutes on the phone with her about this. I just honestly wanted to shut her down and end the call. I do acknowledge I could have handled that much better than I did. On the bit about the sisters sharing the responsibility, this financial situation isn't unique to my future mother-in-law. As I mentioned, girlfriend's sister lives with her boyfriend in the boyfriend's parents' house. Girlfriend is the first one in their family to graduate college, and the only one in that family that has a job paying above minimum wage. This caused a lot of resentment from girlfriend's sister about my girlfriend. I don't see them cooperating on a solution here, but I will try to propose it. A question about OP being able to afford their house, and OP says, I've been working for nearly 10 years now. I was able to put nearly 40% down on the house. Mortgage payment is very low compared to putting 3% down like people apparently usually do. Someone asks where they can find a house that affordable. OP says don't. Come to the state of PA, where you can get a house on 5 figures but can't buy liquor on Sunday. Someone questions about the mum. OP says mother is in her late 40s and no disabilities that I'm aware of. She used to work in a meat processing plant before COVID hit, but she quit because she didn't want to catch it and hasn't had a job since. Nothing has been brought up about her contributing to the house. It's essentially been her attempting to guilt my girlfriend into letting her move in. As to her position, she doesn't want her moving in either, but as I mentioned, she doesn't know how to tell her mother no, so she's been stalling her mum. I don't think it would be the end of the world to her if I just came in with a resounding no. This woman is in her late 40s, has no savings, has lived off SNAP benefits since my girlfriend can remember. She's done nothing to improve her financial situation, spends what money she does get on beer and cigarettes. I don't want to be living with her. I don't want my nice house ruined by cigarette smoke. I don't want to take care of a lazy 40-something-year-old that doesn't want to act like an adult and get a damn job. About the mum smoking, and Opie says, and she won't take it outside. Before all this started, when we would go visit Anne's mum's house, I'd have to immediately wash all my clothing in their own load to get out the smell. And if it wasn't obvious, the cancer that killed her mum was lung cancer, currently taking my father as well. I'm really enjoying living in a smoke-free home. So OP does come in to update the post, and they says, "Hey folks, a few people messaged me about an update to the post I made a while ago on Am I the Arsehole, so here it is. My girlfriend, now fiance, and I are fine. We talked about it and agreed since it's my house, I'll be the one to grow a pair and say no. The mum came to visit, probably to scout out the house since she thought she'd be living in, and I laid it out for her over dinner. After sitting down and having some small talk, I essentially said that under no circumstances would she be moving in with us, and that was that. She got pretty agitated, tried to guilt me with, "What's the big deal? Where will I go? I'll be on the street if you don't let me move in." I started to reiterate that's not my/our problem, but I remembered some of the suggestions that commenters on the original post gave and suggested public housing, some local assistance programs like food pantries, etc. She still wasn't having it though. She's very entitled. She said it would be a lot easier, for her of course, these people only think for themselves, if we just let her move in. She didn't want to go through the hassle of applying for public housing. She doesn't want to have to go to food banks and stuff like that. We kinda went back and forth talking over each other until it escalated to the point that I kicked her out. Didn't lay any hands on her, but I took her plate of food and threw it out and told her to get the hell out of my house. She left after some yelling, and my new neighbor saw the whole show of her cursing me out and peeling out of my driveway, chewing up some of my yard during the process, so that was fun. When the yelling started, my girlfriend retreated to our bedroom, and after her mother left, I went back to find her crying. After giving her some time and cleaning up dinner, I didn't so much throw her mum's plate out as I did launch it at the trash can, so it was everywhere. I went back in and we had a long talk about what happened. She told me that I did the right thing, but I had scared her with all the yelling. She has a lot of childhood trauma, unsurprisingly, but I reassured her that her mum wouldn't be coming back. This whole thing was over. So far, that's rung true. I suggested she give therapy a shot since her family is such a mess, and she has a lot of baggage she could talk out, and she agreed, only asking if I would attend some sessions with her, which I happily agreed to. She's been to 3 sessions so far alone, and a 4th one with both of us. From what I've heard, they've been going very well. So that's pretty much it. Her mother has pissed off back to the hole she came from and hasn't bothered us since. Asked her to marry me last week and she said yes, so I'm looking forward to starting this new chapter in our lives. And no, her mum won't be invited to the wedding. Thank you for all your helpful comments and suggestions. They really helped me out. And it sounds like a fairly positive ending to that last story, especially seeing his girlfriend, now fiance, is seeking some help with therapy as well to deal with her childhood trauma. And the absolute I just try to always picture these scenarios where mum's in the house and she's saying, well, why can't I move in? You know, your house is big enough. I can just move in here. You're really going to kick me out on the street to be homeless. I think, what is going through your mind? In some ways, I don't think it's completely the end of it because we've read multiple stories with someone like that, a mum like that, and they always seem to keep dipping back into people's lives, turning other people against the original posters. It may not happen, obviously, but there's just always a little inkling that might happen again. Hopefully not, though. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. Truly, it's incredible. And hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.